Okay, I'm going to start with black gesso on this piece of cardboard. Okay, so I'm just going to cover this with my gesso, and I'll be back when it's dry and I do the next step. Okay, it's dry and ready for the next step. I intended to have this, to do more on this yesterday, but yeah. Anyway, I am going to find some paint. Oh, and I want to move these because I don't want the splatters to get on that. Okay. It's okay if it gets on those. Okay, I would put some white also, but I ran out, so I'm gonna put, I suppose I have white gesso, but yeah, I'll just use these. I only need a little bit of each. Actually, that's probably too much. I'm probably too late, but I still want to do this video. Deadline is Wednesday, but Wednesday for Jennings might be here already. I don't know how big the time difference is. I'm going to put a little bit extra of the silver because I like it so much. Okay, now what I need is my toothbrush and a bunch of water. This is gonna be messy. Maybe I'll do it this way. I love splatters and speckled effects. And I love watching it happen. Now, you might not really be able to see it. Yeah, that was definitely way too much of the blue. But I'll do something else with it. Okay, I think I'm going to get another toothbrush because I don't want green. I want yellow, not green. Yeah, you may not be able to see it very well here on the camera, but I'm having fun watching it happen. Okay, maybe I didn't get enough of the yellow, but definitely way too much of the blue. But anyway, yeah, that'll be good enough. Okay, it's okay to have purple if that's what is caused by this red. If it mixes with the blue. Okay, that's enough of that one. It did make a nice purple, didn't it? So, Lori and I, whenever green comes into play, Lori thinks of me. And well, me too now, I think of her, but anyway, but now, anytime purple comes into view, I think of Lori, so anyway, okay, silver. Can you see this? That's kind of pretty. Okay. I wanted to put most silver. There we go. Okay, maybe just a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry and I'll be back. While that dries, I'm going to work on this little thing. I'm going to make myself a little drawing here as a guideline and cut it out and paint it, or might use Sharpie markers for this, I'm not sure yet. So that's not very helpful, is it? It broke again. Well, well. Okay, I had a similar issue with this pencil. I switched pencils. It's the same kind, but finally I got it sharpened so that it didn't break. Okay, so I am going to... how am I going to do this? I'm not happy with that. Start with that. I just made a shape here, and I'm going to cut 2 of those. You know what? I'm going to use the bigger scissors. Trace that and cut another one. Okay. There we go. Okay. Make sure it fits. Okay. No, something different. Not happy with that. I'm not happy with that. I'm gonna try again. Wow, I just can't do it today. Okay, that's kind of cute, but it's not what I need. Okay, so I'm not going to erase that one, but let's see. Okay, that's better. There we go. Okay, so we're going to color that in, probably using Sharpies and maybe some colored pencil on top of the Sharpies. And then I will fussy cut it after that. Forgot to give him toes or toenails. There we go. Okay, now let's see what these colors look like on cardboard. Okay, what I've got here for my pencils and markers and stuff is just not working. I'm gonna have to come up with something else. Okay, I definitely don't want that. Yeah, that'll work. Is it different enough? Yeah. Okay. So this is just the base color, so I'm not really following my own rule of coloring in the direction that, or like for, I'm doing it a little bit, but I'm going to use colored pencils to do that mostly because of the nature of the Sharpie and the way it works. It's just easier to fill in the color and then go in again with a different color for shading and contouring and such. But I am doing it a little bit because you will see the strokes of the Sharpie too, but here on the cardboard it doesn't, because it sinks in, doesn't do it as much. I mean, it doesn't show the strokes as much. Yeah, the colored pencil will bring out detail better and stuff too. Okay. There we go, got that. Now, I think I will highlight a little bit on that side. And, okay, I'll try ultramarine for the shadow. Yeah, that'll do. Now, of course, I could put as much or as little detail on this stuff as I want. But I am kind of running out of time, so I'm going to try to not do too much. I will use raspberry for this color shadow. And probably pink for that highlight. This way it might look like he's got bumps instead of just spots. And I think I'll use this to highlight this belly bit too. And this for the shadow. Okay, and for the yellow ochre for the shadow part. And canary for the highlight. Oh, there was a yellow one there. And there. Okay, so this is not showing up as good as I want it to. Oh, and his eyes are like that too. So I'm going to use white. Yeah, that's better. Pumpkin orange for his main body shadow. Which isn't really showing up very well. And actually the Sharpie is darker. So I'm gonna use Tuscan Red instead. But because I started with that, I'm gonna have to, because it won't look right if some of it is like that and others isn't. Because I started with this color, so I'm going to have to do a bit more. Okay. Now, let's see. Yeah, that's better. That shows up. Okay, so now I'm trying to do like contours and stuff like that, and I put that shadow at the wrong place, but that's okay because it's because of that. I tend to always shadow and highlight in the same direction because I don't really know why, I just do. Okay, so under his arm there would be a shadow, and so it seems like it's on the wrong side, but it's not. Putting shadows can be a little tricky, but it's worth doing. Okay, and highlight with regular orange. And my belly's decided to start growling. Okay. I'm going to use my regular pencil to enhance some of the detail. Just to sharpen some of it and make it a little bit more visible and defined. Because some of these elements are kind of being lost. Sometimes you just need a little bit darker of a shadow than what you have. Because of the way it's angled, I think I want some shadow there too. There we go. Just not quite as thick. Another reason to do what I'm doing right now is that sometimes you spots areas that you should have added some that you didn't and stuff, so. Okay, try and highlight that just a little bit more. And maybe his nose too. Okay, and that's not. We could try and make the eyes a little bit darker in the black part. I'm going to say that's done, and I'm just going to fussy cut him out. And once I have it cut, I will be back. Okay, there he is, my little alien buddy. He's friendly though. He's not going to cause any problems. There's a little detail there that didn't cut quite right. There we go. Okay, now silver Sharpie. Oh my gosh, that smells bad and strong. Don't even really need to do too much in this area here because it's going to be hazard. Do it anyway. Now, if I had more time, I would do all kinds of detail and give him a seat and all kinds of stuff, but keep it simpler. Okay, gel pen, sparkly. I guess they're metallic jelly rolls. I am going to represent some little lights right there. Wasn't sure if this gel pen would show up more than the Sharpie did, and I think it does, so I'm just gonna do weird thing like that. Only on that part though. And then I'm going to use my regular pencil for some shading and detail. Just a little bit of detail. Piece of acetate and my oval stencil. Now technically I should have another piece behind him too, but I think I'm not going to. add that. And I think that's, yeah, I guess it's working. Just trying to make it look a little bit more curved, but yeah, I'm sure you can't really see red Sharpie. Black pen. Okay. I think I'm gonna try adding a little bit of this Sharpie here so that these will show up a bit better. There we go. I need to glue this. A little bit of glossy accents right there. Okay, that's mostly just to hold the acetate there. And I will need a little bit here too where the acetate is, and the glue's gonna, on top of that. Hopefully have enough time to move it around if I need to. Just a bunch of this glossy accents. Except that it doesn't want to come out. Grrr. Okay, that'll do. Okay, now I have myself an alien in his little one-man spaceship. I know it doesn't look quite right and everything, but and it doesn't want to stay on there. Okay, I think, yep, that's dry enough. Do I want them in a line like that? So these are planets, in case you didn't figure that out. You probably did though. Just a hint of black. Might not work because of the stuff on it, but maybe a hint of blue as well. See, if that had been, if my UT had been clear, the idea was that it would have shown up like this without me having to do this part, but it's not, as you can see. So, oh yeah, that'll work. I'm surprised, but pleasantly so. just want a hint of water just to make that transition a little bit less harsh. Oh yeah, the dilution, or the color wash I should say, is coming off, and so that's perfect actually, because it's shading it just the way I needed it to. This is just a tiny piece of paper towel, by the way. Maybe. Okay, there we go. That's awesome. And now I'm just gonna glue those on there. I think I like them all in a row like that, so I'm gonna, I know it's kind of strange, but that's what I'm gonna do, I believe. Maybe that one can tuck in under his a little bit. Just like that, yeah. Okay. Once that is dry, I will say this is completed. So yeah, it's just basically a little space scene that I made out of cardboard with the pitted technique for the planets. Okay, for these two, it's mostly just gonna be a love and peace little thing, and I'm basically just going to cover this in black. Yeah, I'm just basically gonna do a black background because I like the way it looks, and then I will glue those on, and I might write words, but I might just leave it just like that. So once I have this painted and glued, I'll be back. Okay, so it's not dry. The glue part isn't dry, but the paint is. Anyway, but this is what I have so far. I decided to cut around it just a little bit. I can use this for something else. I think I'm just going to use my Sharpie and write love and peace. And I think I'm just going to leave it like that. You probably can't really see the words, but they're there. Love and peace. Okay, for the mushrooms, I'm gonna do something just a tad different. It's kind of the same. I don't like how straight that edge is. Well, I guess I can't really fix it too well. I'm just ruining it. So I'm just gonna leave it. I have such a mess here because I've got so many projects happening at once. Okay, I am going to use a sheet of paper and glue that on there. I'll just use my PPA again. Smooth it out so that it's not quite so bumpy. It still will do the bumpy probably, but And try to get on the sides as best I can. Right up to the edge so that it sticks nicely and no lifting corners and such. I need just a little bit more. Wow, it's drying very fast. Especially on the edges where I need it most. Well, I can fix that. I can trim it. Okay, I probably should let that dry, but I'm not going to. Wait, I'm going to trim that. So obviously I didn't cut them perfectly straight and square and everything, so I'm just going to trim it like that a little bit. That'll help with the issue of it not being glued right to the edge. It should be now. There we go. And I prefer rounded corners to pointy ones, so I'm going to do that. Okay, there we go. I'm going to decide where I want them and how. I kind of like them to be like on top of each other. Okay, now I need a little pop dot. I'll use this foam tape instead. It's a bigger piece than I need, but that helps to hide the pointy edge that I don't like there. And that's way too pointy right there too, so there we go, that's better. Now, this one doesn't need to be pop dotted. I think I should put a piece under there if I can. There we go. And I will glue that one. Oh, that side's kind of pretty too. Okay, I'm going to draw a tiny little fairy. And working over the bumps from the corrugate kind of interferes with your line sometimes. Okay, and I think I'm gonna color her entirely with colored pencils. I'm going to, oh, actually I think I'm just going to use this pen. Okay, I'm going to cut that out. I have her cut out. I am going to make a little cut right there. So that I can put her skirt on. Oh, I'd have to do it there too. So I cut her arm out. And you know what? I'm not gonna do it. I don't like it. I'm just gonna leave her like that. But I'm gonna give her some wings with this little piece of acetate. So I'm going to cut you like that. Classy accents. Okay. Worked that time. Put the bottom ones on first. Just holding that in place for a minute. There. Okay. Have my little fairy. Do you want to sit on the top one? I mean the middle one or this one? Oh, she wants to sit like that, maybe. No, I think so. It's like that or like that. I'm thinking I'll prefer her on top there of the middle one. So I'm going to do that. This might be tricky because it's kind of narrow. I mean, she's narrow, so oh good, it doesn't show. except for that little spot there. I think that'll do. Oh, looks like I need 2 pieces tall. I shouldn't be using these scissors for that, but the big ones would be a problem to fit in there, I think. Okay, I'm sure it's not perfect, but good enough. Tiny piece for her head. Should have done this before I stuck her down, but I guess I thought it was enough. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is this. So basically I'm just making grass. I'm going to do this to both sides and I'll be back. Okay, so I just cut that and I'm going to glue that folded together. And in this case it's okay if there are ripples or whatever you call that, wrinkles, because it'll just kind of add to it. But they really weren't that bad. So I'm just gonna kind of okay, and decide if I like that enough to glue that on there or not. I'm gonna try something first. Well, my Sharpie's pretty much dead, so that didn't really work out. So I do want to hide that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it. I don't know if grass grows like that where mushrooms, I mean, if mushrooms grow where grass is like that, but in this world they do. I think I like that, so I'm going to put those flowers on there, even though they're kind of big for the scale of things. Either they're big or they're small. I guess it depends on what kind of mushroom that is, and the mushrooms are kind of... Anyway. Okay, the green background is bugging me. I tried, but I just can't do it. I can leave it for a little ways, as if it were part of the field or something, but she needs blue sky. So this is my Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2 blue, and I'm going to put some white over top of it to make it a little bit lighter. And then just dissolve that with my aqua pen. What's this called? Aqua brush. That's much better already. It was just bugging me. I mean, I know that from the perspective that was there, it could have been that she was in the field and you could see the, you know, the green of the field, but I prefer this blue sky. Okay, much happier with that. While I have these out though, I think I'll do this. Just for a little bit extra. Okay, good. This side isn't fully dry, so... One more thing. She needs a friend of some kind. So the butterfly would be approximately the same size as her. Okay. If I fold the paper, then I can have the wings that match. And then if I do that, okay, that'll work. Okay, color. My bigger Sharpie in black doesn't work, so I have to use this fine tip. It's okay, kinda works. Okay. Well, he's kind of big compared to her, but we're gonna go with it anyway. And I think I'm just gonna glue one wing down. There you go. And that I would like to have some kind of a border And maybe... yeah, I think I'm gonna do this. So, there you go.